Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be telling you about one moment that changed my comms career trajectory. Now, in answering this question, because someone did ask the question that what was one moment that changed my career trajectory, honestly, I don't think it's just one moment, but I mean, when I think about my career journey, when I look back, there is one that was really, really significant, but there have been series of moments that were also very, very important in getting me to where I am today. But the one that I would really like to spotlight, the one that I would say was a major moment, was when I went to IE Business School to do my master's in marketing and strategic communications. And honestly, that really shifted my trajectory. So I see Adedoyin, because I graduated in 2021. So the Adedoyin before I started that program in 2020 and the Adedoyin afterwards, in terms of how I did my work, was very, very different. So the pre-2020 me, I was learning a lot on the job, and it wasn't like I was doing a horrible job, but no, I was, because I give myself to everything. Like, if I want to do something, I give myself to it. I can find knowledge anywhere. I would pick up my phone, ask my friends, even if I didn't know. But there were a lot of times that I was just truly winging it. I found myself in situations where I was hearing things for the first time. I remember specifically one particular conference was a big healthcare conference that came on my plate, and I had to have like lunch with a friend of mine that had worked in the healthcare sector, and I knew that he had like subject matter expertise, and I just, in doing that lunch, asked him a lot of questions, because I was like, this is a big conference. I've never done anything of this scale and nature within the healthcare. I think that was like my first client within the healthcare sector, so I definitely needed support. But I remember how I was just second guessing myself, and that happened so many times in different briefs. There were some that, after you do something first time, second time, third time, you're like, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. But there were a number of times that I was just like, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Holy Spirit, help me. God, show me the way. And I relied a lot on people. Now, after 2020, what then happened with the master's program was I started to learn the proper way to do things, the proper way to write a press release, the proper way to develop a communication strategy and plan, because what I was using before was something that I have found on Google, some template that I tweaked, and then, a bit of trial and error here and there, and just trying to figure out, okay, this works, this doesn't work. But just seeing the real thing, the frameworks, the principles, the steps that you have to go through, the questions that you need to ask. And one of the things I really liked about that program was that we were taught by, so some of our lecturers, maybe like about 40% of our lecturers were people, maybe even more than 40% actually, just come to think about it. There were people that were actually practicing. So one was a global communications director of one of the largest European banks. He taught us content marketing. If you see the way he taught us content, oh my God. I can't even begin to tell you, but it just, the rigor of it, then the exercises, you had like tests, you had assignments, case studies, and you have to write reports. I remember reading through Coca-Cola sustainability report, having to do a report on Disney, and you're not looking at just the comms side though. It's like from a business and organizational perspective. So it really gave me a well-rounded view. It helped me to think about things from a business and organizational level, because sometimes what affects us as comms people is that we're just looking at it from a communications perspective. And what that means is that you're unable to find the linkages between the work that you are doing and what the organization wants to achieve. We also had a model on entrepreneurship. We had to build a business from scratch. So going to do market research. See, there was even customer centricity. There was a course on that, digital marketing, and then we had an accounting course. So again, knowing the numbers, just being able to do projections, financial projections. At some point I was like, what is this? But it's 5 years after I did that degree, or technically 4 years, because I graduated in 2021. but I could see the difference, or I am still seeing the difference in terms of how I think. I'm thinking now from an organizational perspective. I'm thinking now from a strategic level. I have resources and tools that can help me to deliver high level results. I remember our capstone project I actually did, it was with Santander, which is also a leading European bank. We did a project with them. Their team came in, we were working with them, asking questions, understanding the business problems, all of those things. Like, it's experience that no one can take away from me. And when people ask me, should I go to school, should I not go to school, and I was like, look, going to school, furthering your education, gaining more knowledge is beyond the certificate and the paper. It's really the rigor, the thinking, because as part of the program, you had to answer questions. Like, it's part of your, what did they call it? There was a requirement for participation. I think that was it. You had a percentage, so you had to be contributing and making meaningful contributions. Just being able to think, being able to contribute, being able to speak up was really, really nice. And so when I finished and I graduated, it changed the way that I approached my clients' briefs. It changed the kind of questions that I was asking my clients. And the biggest game changer for me was being able to hold conversations with organizational leaders. So I wasn't thinking from a communications perspective anymore. I was thinking very, very high level. And that was really, really significant. Another moment that I would say is when I decided to start sharing my knowledge, because me sharing my knowledge was just coming from a place of, I really just wanted to help professionals to just upskill, close knowledge gaps as best as I could, because getting a master's degree is very, very costly. Not everybody may have the immediate opportunity. Some may need to save. I got the scholarship and I was able to do it to the glory of God. And so that passion to just want to help as many people as possible. But then what that step has then done for me is opened me up to being able to train communications teams across the continent, helped me to become a better teacher. I didn't even realize that I could teach, let me not even lie. When I first started, it was just me, my YouTube channel, my phone or my laptop. I think I was also inspired by one of my lecturers, again, the professor that taught us content marketing, because I was like, this guy is himself, he's teaching, he's not an over-a-fico, he's relatable, he's funny. I can also do this. And I decided to start it, and honestly that has also impacted my career, because as part of teaching you also learn, because putting together my content, I'm saying, okay, what is best practice, what's happening now. You want to teach what is current, you want to teach what is up to date, you want to make sure that you're giving absolute value. And so in teaching, I'm also developing myself as well, and I did not honestly foresee the kind of doors that will open just by teaching and sharing knowledge with professionals across the continent and even beyond as well. So those are two moments that I will spotlight from my career journey. And because I always like to share lessons, why have I just shared those two significant moments? I think for me, lesson number one is to reflect on your career journey and ask yourself, where do I need to level up? Where do I need to step up my game? Where do I need to go and close my knowledge gap? And being vulnerable enough to say, look, I need support here. I need to get more information, and get the support that you need. Either you go and enroll for training, you go for one-on-one coaching, you go for a master's program. Know when it's time to upskill. And I see upskilling as something that it has to be a lifelong thing. So even now, as I'm currently taking a certification for board leadership, for example, and that's because that's the level I want to operate in. I want to be able to advise boards. I want to really understand things from their own perspective, and that's why I'm doing it. So just being able to identify what are the blind spots, or what are the weaknesses or areas where there are gaps, and how can I begin to close those gaps. And the second thing is just always think value. I really find that just being someone of value, someone that adds value, whether it's to your organization, to your community, to your tribe, it really does make a difference. And so those are the lessons that I will highlight from those two moments that shaped my comms career journey. If you have any questions for me regarding my career journey, you have questions regarding, how to navigate yours, please feel free to ask. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.